Part 41. Transmigration, First Class Immortal Husband. Author, North Wind Blows. Chapter 401. Chen Sheng has been worried for a while, and after pretending to search with others for a while to no avail, he excused himself to think of other ways, separated from the others, turned around and entered a city, where the Qi family couldn't reach in. The place is also far enough from Biwangchenj. Of course, he still wore an unfamiliar appearance, so as not to reveal his whereabouts. In fact, on the third day of the auction, he received a message from Guyao, reported to him that he was safe, and asked him to wait at the agreed place, which is the current city, and the time was uncertain. Although they received the safety news, they are still worried about whether they will be discovered by the increasing number of monks outside. The keys to the secret realm of Absolute Pond are limited, and every time a piece appears now causes a sensation and conflict, so there are many monks and forces who go for that key. He wandered outside for a while, and found that Guyao and the others had completely lost their traces, and then they went all the way to the city. Even he can't find out the news, and it's unlikely that other people are likely. Many monks outside searched for Guyao and Qi Changjai to no avail, but at this moment they were standing in front of Su Chen, and Zi Baobao was sitting on Guyao's shoulders. They had been in the space for a while, and only in this way could they completely disappear. In the eyes of others, otherwise there will always be clues, and the next time will be exhausted. The two repeated this process in their minds several times to ensure that no one would discover the existence of the space, otherwise the consequences would be even more terrifying than the key to the secret realm of the endless pond. They stayed in the space for a while, and then carefully watched the situation outside, and found that there were still people searching here. When no one was there, they let the cubs hide, and moved out with the iron pieces on which the space rested, day by day. The accumulation of, now farther and farther away from that market town. If he encounters a lush forest, it will be smoother, because Zi Baobao will also help. He can hide in the trunk of the tree and use the wood escape, which is completely integrated with the breath of the tree. This is the innate wood spirit. Come on, magic. On the way, Guyao and Qi Changjai will also come out and show up, and contact Chen Sheng, mainly to determine the opening time of the secret realm of the Absolute Pond. Fortunately, there is still enough time. 2 months have passed, and the two are planning to go out. To enter the secret realm, they also have to make some preparations. Besides, they have run out of spirit stones, so they have to raise some spirit stones. Can't do without this thing. Isn't the senior really not impressed with the secret realm of Juechi? Guyao felt that Su Chen was also young, so he would miss out on such a secret realm. Of course, it is also possible that there are too many secret realms that seniors can come into contact with, and there is no need to take a secret realm of Absolute Pond. Su Chen thought about it for a while, and said euphemistically, maybe when you go in, I will remember the familiar scenery when I see it. Well, it's up to you. Guyao couldn't help rolling his eyes. Then let's go out first. Zi Baobao will give senior a photo. Look. 2 more days later, on the edge of a mountain range, 2 monks flew out from the inside in a hurry. There were also monks staying outside. They just glanced at them and looked away. There are countless monks coming in and out every day. Remembered one by one. The 2 of them did not rush to leave. They went to the nearby monks' settlement. Without asking, they found out where this place was, and then chose a direction and flew away. Like Chen Sheng, they are more and more grateful for the role of the map, so that they will not lose their way in the barren state. Walking down the road, I heard more and more about the secret realm of the Absolute Pond. The monks revealed the events of the past 500 years. The fat monks in the underground auction house did not lie. Those who have cultivated in, have become virtual cultivators when they come out, but this cultivator is not from a barren state. That is to say, if they enter the secret realm, they may encounter cultivators from other states, and the competition they will face will be very fierce. I have also heard several cases of fighting for the key between several parties, and before entering the secret realm, many monks have already lost their lives. However, I did not hear the appearance of such a big force as Tianyang Zongyiwen Pavilion. I also know that they will definitely not be short of keys. Right now, it can be said that they are sitting firmly on the Diaotai, watching those small and medium forces fight for it. You have to live and die. Eyes twitching, could it be that there is an indissoluble bond with this reward list? Now they not only use the disguise technique, but also the disguise pill, which has a double effect. Even if the cultivation base is higher than them, it should be impossible to discover their true colors. I don't have this key anymore. Everywhere they went, the two of them acted separately and dispersed some of the medicinal pills. Because the secret realm was about to open, the price of medicinal pills on the market rose steadily. Therefore, when the two arrived at the city where they met with Chen Sheng, the storage ring was piled up. Lingxi made them feel less confident. Chen Sheng received the summons of their arrival and waited in one of the restaurants. When the two pushed open the box door with unfamiliar faces, Chen Sheng knew at a glance that they were here, because the two were in front of him. There is no deliberate restraint of its own temperament. Chen Sheng glanced again, and his eyes were attracted by the small bell hanging from the waist. He had never seen this thing before, and as the two walked around, there was no sound, but he felt that this thing should not be simple. The door was closed behind. Noticing Chen Sheng's gaze, Guyao looked down and explained with a smile, "Didn't I photograph a pair of inner alchemy last time? I used them to make a pair of concentric bells, so that even if they accidentally separated, and will not lose contact. It really is a good thing, especially suitable for these two people." Chen Sheng envied. "Sure enough, it can still play a big role in your hands." After the three sat down, they exchanged the latest news with each other. Chen Sheng didn't ask how Guyao and Qi Changjai got rid of so many cultivators' search. The experience together made him know that these two people are talented and no less than Huang. The well-known cultivation geniuses in the state are not good enough, and sooner or later they will leave the barren state and land on the larger stage of the spiritual world. What Guyao and Qi Changjai knew were mostly hearsay, but Chen Sheng seriously inquired about the opponents they might face, those monks who would enter the secret realm with second-rate and third-rate sect forces, what strengths they were, and what were they good at. Maybe it was originally a business, so the information collected is more comprehensive. Looking at the list listed by Chen Sheng, Qi Changjai saw Tianyang sect at a glance, and asked, "Qi Shaha, the Qi family of Tianyang sect, will also go to the secret realm?" Chen Sheng replied, "Tianyang sect will definitely send disciples in, but it is not clear whether Qi Shaha is among them, because he has just entered the Tianyang sect. Maybe he will retreat to fully develop his hidden celestial body. But it is not guaranteed. He will definitely go. After all, next time it will be 500 years later, he will not have the qualification to enter." Qi Changjai said in a cold voice, "I don't think he wants to miss this opportunity. When he arrives in the secret realm, he hopes to have a chance to ask him a lesson or two, and it's best for the Qi family to go in as well." Although he was implicated by Chen Sheng, the Qi family added him and Guyao to the bounty list without asking for the reason, and they chased and killed him, which annoyed him. Did he retreat? Chen Sheng squinted his eyes. He also had this idea when he was inquiring about news, but he was worried that he would provoke the Tianyang section. However, if he was careful, he might not be noticed. As long as Qi Shaha died, the Qi family would be destroyed. He couldn't take advantage of Tianyang sect anymore, and he was very happy to see such a situation. As for the rest of the Qi family, he was worried that they would not have the chance to get the key. "I also hope that Qi's family can enter the secret realm and ask them for some interest in person. In the secret realm, he doesn't need to run around in embarrassment anymore, because the Qi family has not reached the limit of 500 bone age, and they have not reached the strength of refining, and they are all wandering in the spirit transforming stage. Chisaha has entered the Tianyang section. There is hope, but if the unfortunate happens to them, the good luck will come to an end. There is still nearly a year to open, and there is an access point near their city, so the rest of the time, in addition to preparing, the three of them are retreating and practicing, and seize the last time to improve their strength. Chen Sheng went out of the city to collect the bills at that time. How could he expect the future development, so he did not bring all the accumulation of the Chen family with him. The expenses for a while made him a little shy, and he did not have the alchemy technique of Guyao. He used Qi Changjai's talisman to make money, so he first borrowed a spirit stone from them, and then repaid the account after meeting with his aunt. As for the spiritual stone that was spent on buying the key before, Chen Sheng felt that it was the bill he should pay. After all, he also needed the key. Time passed quickly, and with the help of top-grade medicinal pills and space, Guyao also successfully entered the middle stage of God transformation. Of course, this is also because of the relationship between entering the secret realm, more strength and more security, so he only relies on Dan all the way. Improve the medicine, otherwise it will take it slowly and lay a solid foundation. It didn't cause the situation to be unstable, but Chen Sheng was still shocked by it. It's just that one promotion was so fast. This is another one, which sets him off to the extreme incompetence. After the breakthrough, he will consolidate his cultivation base. Guyao did not retreat, refining alchemy, drinking tea, and chatting with Qi Changjai in the yard, and he seemed very leisurely. Because there is an access entrance near the city, the number of monks in the city has also surged recently, and even the aura above is a lot more irritable. Chen Sheng came back from the outside, with a look of regret on his face, sat down and poured a cup of spiritual tea, and said, "I just went to a small auction, and there are top 5 grade healing pills and nourishing pills at the event. The auction, those people are crazy, the price is more than 3 times higher than usual. I still want to shoot 2 down, the result is good, I can't get one, crazy. Really crazy." 3 times, Guyao's voice trembled. It's more than 3 times. You can see it when you go outside. Not to mention the top grade pills, the price of the top grade pills has doubled. At this time, those merchants have doubled their profits. Chen Sheng thought of double star business again. If nothing happened, he would definitely be sitting in the firm counting the spirit stones happily, but it's a pity that the double star firm has nothing to do with him now. Qi Changjai stretched out his hand and grabbed Guyao's hand. He also suspected that the medicinal pill Chen Sheng said was the one they had distributed recently, but because they didn't want to reveal their identities, the price of the shot was only 3 or 4% higher than usual. When someone else resold it to the auction, it tripled immediately. Not angry, Guyao told himself, not angry, but still angry. When he is not afraid of revealing his identity in the future, he will definitely open an auction in the entire spiritual world to sell the best quality pills he has refined, and watch those cultivators desperately scatter spirit stones in order to compete for the best quality pills. It's not the best pill, when I see my aunt, I'm sure I can get the best pill, and then I will definitely have your share. Chen Sheng patted his chest and said. Guyao almost rolled his eyes. The storage ring contains a lot of top-grade pills, and there is still a lot of spiritual energy in the space, so I don't know how many top-grade pills have been digested, and he has no shortage of top-grade pills. Although I thought so in my heart, I smiled and said, "Okay, we will wait." A smile flashed in Qi Changjai's eyes. Turning around, Qi Changjai went out and shot another batch of high-grade pills, and the price this time was indeed much higher than the previous one. At this time, a lot of monks poured into the city, and the situation was more complicated, so his actions did not attract many people's attention, and he and Guyao also took this opportunity to grab a lot of money. A few days later, the spiritual energy suddenly condensed into clouds and mist in a certain direction outside the city, surging endlessly, and reflected 5 lights and 10 lights, which was very gorgeous. The secret realm of Absolute Pond is about to open, go. All the monks inside and outside the city were attracted by this scene, and countless rainbow lights swept in that direction, including Guyao and the three of them. Not all the monks who went there had keys. Some people wanted to pick up the leak, some people wanted to take the last chance to it from others, and some people just wanted to watch the fun. It quickly arrived at the place where the vision occurred. Looking up from the bottom, the clouds were so beautiful that people couldn't take their eyes off it. After reaching the extreme, the weather suddenly calmed down, and behind the clouds revealed a mountain and water everywhere. The world of exotic flowers and plants is only separated from the world they are in by a veil, as if only flying upwards can break through the veil and fly into the world. However, everyone knows that this is only the surface, and the space between the two is not Tool, but space. The disciples of Kinanman obey the order and enter the secret realm. Yes. The first group of monks who entered the secret realm appeared. Everyone looked at them and saw that there were sect elders escorting them in the air. Every 5 people were surrounded by the bubbles formed by the keys and flew towards the secret realm above. Everyone could only watch helplessly, unable to give birth to the idea of robbing, not to see that the elders were staring at the bottom. Let's go too. Several more bubbles rose, and at this moment, a dozen figures attacked 2 of them. Bang bang. The bubble did not burst, but the cultivator who forcibly attacked flew out backwards, which made other cultivators with keys see hope, and more bubbles appeared in the air. Transmigration, First Class Immortal Husband. Author, North Wind Blows. Chapter 402. Let's go to. Chi Chang-Jai quickly activated the token key in his hand, and the bubble formed included Guyao and Chen Sheng. Without their own control, the bubble was attracted to the secret realm and flew upwards. As soon as they moved, they were immediately noticed by the people next to them. They thought they were watching the fun just like them, but they would hide among them. If they started earlier, would they be able to grab it? What made them jealous the most was that the keys that could carry 5 people, actually only 3 people activated it, and someone jumped out immediately, shouting, "Take me one, I'll give it to the spirit stone." Yes, bring me one, I will buy a place for 100,000 top-grade spirit stones. Me too. I'll pay 200,000. A bubble chased dozens of cultivators, reaching out to send the spirit stone to Guyao and them. The 3 looked at each other, and then said in unison, "If you don't make money, you won't make money." Especially Chen Sheng, who still owes a debt, and now that Ling Shive is in his hands, there is no reason to push it out. However, it is also important to earn which 2 people's spirit stones. Chen Sheng and Guyao handed over the decision to Chi Chang-Jai. Chi Chang-Jai reached out and ordered 2 of them, both of whom were the initial strength of God transformation. The 2 were overjoyed, and they made an offer. "It's not the highest, I didn't expect good luck to fall on them." Chi Chang-Jai stretched out his hand and dragged them in. The 2 immediately handed over the spirit stone to look at the situation outside. They didn't know why they were picked. They just looked at their cultivation base in these 3 people. There is no threat in front of them, and they will not be reluctant to give out this spirit stone, but the 2 of them are willing to exchange. The monk who didn't get the quota was so angry that he couldn't force it, so he turned to look for other opportunities. The next moment, this bubble, like the others, was swallowed up by the layer of gauze, and the 5 people disappeared in front of everyone's eyes. And these 5 people immediately felt the feeling of weightlessness, and they fell straight down, and the speed was getting faster and faster, and they were about to smash into the ground. The impact caused by the fall, and the key was taken back by the secret realm when it passed through the veil. As soon as they landed on the ground, the 2 cultivators who joined later quickly stepped back for a distance, then clasped their fists politely and said, "Thank you 3 fellow deists for taking us on a ride, and I will leave. Take care." Guyao and the others didn't mind each other's vigilance, and they couldn't rest assured if they were kept by their side. "Take care, The two quickly disappeared. At this time, the three people checked the surrounding environment, and Chen Sheng was also surprised. I didn't expect that you can't fly here, so it will be much more difficult to encounter danger. As soon as he finished speaking, he heard the sound of beating in the air. The three of them quickly looked up and saw a ferocious bird staring at them and flying towards them. Chi Changjai quickly said a word, "Run," pulling Guyao. He chose a direction and ran out quickly. Guyao glanced back and saw that the bird was getting closer and closer, and the aura emanating from it was in the early stage of virtual refining. Guyao shouted, "Chen Sheng, you are too crow-mouthed, this bird may have been recruited by you." Chen Sheng was running with all his strength, and when he heard Guyao's words, he was almost relieved, but now, where he could care, there was a strong wind blowing at the back of his head, making his head hurt. There is a wood on the right. Guyao was dragged by Chi Changjai, so he still had the energy to look left and right, and when he saw a lush wood on the right, he hurriedly called out. To the right, Chi Changjai quickly turned around. Chen Sheng's heart was alarmed, and he quickly threw himself to the side and rolled out. A pair of iron claws passed by and pulled the ground into a shallow ditch. Chen Sheng was so frightened that he almost landed on him. But right now, I can't even think about it, it's important to escape. Chen Sheng was relieved and Guyao pulled him over, and in a blink of an eye, he was out of the attack range of the bird, and ran desperately as soon as he landed. The three of them plunged into the dense forest like a puff of smoke. The bird knocked over more than a dozen big trees and stopped its advance. The prey ran away, and the bird screamed sharply outside, its wings the slap made dust all around. Chen Shenghao was so frightened that his heart skipped a beat, it was just too thrilling, almost. "Thank you, Alchemist Gu, for pulling me." Guyao waved his hands, and the three of them shared the previous spiritual stones. Of course, Chen Sheng had a share. Chen Sheng didn't reject it. Just hold back. Chi Changjai was not in a hurry to explore the secret realm, but first took out the talisman tool and drew some necessary magic talismans. He wondered, the events 500 years ago should be known to many people now, why no one mentions the secret realm? A flight restriction thing? Or is it a local area? Or is it just this one special? Although they can't get in touch with the forces and monks who have entered the secret realm, but after the retreat is over, they are not deaf. The secret realm is ready. If you had known this situation earlier, there should be a lot of market for such amulets, such as the light body talisman, but it is very obvious that these low-level magic talismans are simply unpopular. Chen Sheng also paid attention to collecting relevant information. He had never heard of this situation. Seeing that Chi Changjai was busy driving, he said, fortunately, fellow Daoist Chi knows how to make talismans. It can be said that this level of magic talisman can be said to be popular in the entire spiritual world. There is no market. Guyao gave Chi Changjai a hand, and the latter used the fastest speed to rush out a batch of magic talismans. Fortunately, he had drawn a lot of these magic talismans in the Tianlin continent, so he was not a beginner. The three of them are equipped with some, in case they encounter the previous situation again, they will not be as embarrassed as before. Guyao had time to speculate at this time, maybe this is the case in the entire secret realm this time. You didn't realize that the speed of the bird before was also reduced a lot compared to the level outside, otherwise with our speed, we may not be able to get rid of it so smoothly. Chi Changjai nodded, yes, it seems that it is good for us to suppress the birds, otherwise this secret realm will be their main battlefield. The birds outside had already retreated, but the three of them did not go back, but explored the dense forest and walked to the depths. The dense forest is rich in spiritual energy, and the spiritual grass resources are very rich. Usually, Guyao and Chen Sheng dig the spiritual grass, and Chi Changjai guards the surrounding area to protect them. Chen Sheng is no longer the young master of everyone in the past. The spirit grasses that he didn't like in the past are not spared now. These spirit grasses are all spirit stones. Of course, these spirit grasses dug now are going to be handed over to Guyao. Yes, he has obtained a lot of medicinal pills from Guyao, and I believe that after refining the pill, he will also have a share. There was the sound of water coming from the front. The three of them looked at each other, more carefully restrained their breath, and dived over there. The line of sight in front of them is much wider, but they also encountered the first group of monks since entering the secret realm, unable to know the identity of the other party, and the number of the other party outnumbered them. 7 or 8 monks stood by the water pool, looking at the patterns on their clothes. They should be from the same faction. One of them looked at the water pool and said, "Brother, is it really under the water pool? Are we going into the water? Well, it should be right. Let's take a look at the water first, and leave 2 people on it to be on guard." The senior brother who took the lead pointed the 2 brothers to stay, and led the others into the water and dived down. The 2 who stayed on the shore looked around vigilantly. Looking at this situation, Guyao and the others could guess that these cultivators came in with information, and they didn't know what was under the water to attract them. If it was other places, they could try it, but they had to enter the water. It would be too easy to expose. The 3 of them planned to give up here and go to other places to continue their exploration. This secret realm is not small, and there are many other opportunities without it. But just moved a bit and lurked again, because they noticed that someone was coming again, and the speed of action was extremely fast, which made them suspect that the other party was also coming towards this pool. The direction from which the movement came out. The 3 of Guyao did not move, and at the same time they communicated with each other. Is there a sect called Flying Spirit Sect in Barren State? No, maybe it's from a foreign state. Although I don't know how many states the keys will be put into, it must be more than just the monks from the Barren State. Chen Sheng said with certainty that although the double star firm is not very strong in the entire Barren State, but anyway, the business is almost all over the Barren State, and the sect forces in the Barren State are fairly familiar, but they have never heard of a sect like the Flying Spirit Sect. Flying Spirit Sect, someone of the pedestrian who came here said, without any intention to cover up his whereabouts, it's a coincidence, our Yunhong sect and your Flying Spirit Sect are really destined, and we met here when we first came in. Why, this absolute pond secret realm is the territory of your Flying Spirit Sect, and even where we go, we need your permission. This time, Chen Sheng shook his head again with certainty. The Flying Spirit Sect has never heard of it. The same is true of this Yunhong sect. What makes them happier is that the remarks just now seem to be full of gunpowder. People come together. Yunhong men, one of the monks cursed in a low voice, things that are haunted, why do they have their bodies everywhere? Film. Then he raised his voice, don't think that our Flying Spirit Sect is easy to bully, thinking that we don't know your purpose. Don't think about going one step further, unless you defeat us. Ha, since you all want to taste defeat so much, we Yunhong sect will give you this chance today, come on. The monk who came out of the woods waved his hand back, and the monk behind rushed out and followed the 2 of them. Fight. After the 2 disciples were entangled, the others immediately jumped into the pond, making the 2 disciples scream in anger. Guyao and the others could see clearly that when these people just came out, one of the disciples squeezed the message talisman, notify the fellow who launched the water. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Transmigration, First Class Immortal Husband. Author, North Wind Blows. Chapter 403. Neither side made a deadly attack, and when they hit the back, they all fell into the pool. Guyao and the 3 of them looked at the rippling water surface and couldn't understand the rhythm. But they still have no idea of going into the water. Seeing that the 2 sides are so familiar, maybe when a third party comes, the 2 of them will immediately join hands to fight the enemy. Guyao and the others are not in a hurry, because this time the secret realm is opened for 2 years, and after 2 years, all those who enter it will be thrown out, no matter where they are, so they are not in a hurry for a while. After about a quarter of an hour, the calm water suddenly became turbulent, and there was the sound of fighting from below. Needless to say, the two sides started fighting under the water. With a bang, several meters of water waves rose on the water, and the people who were underwater also rushed out, but the two sides were still fighting together, but they were about to fall into the water again, and they fell with each other's strength. When they reached the shore next to the pool, others jumped out one after another. Hand over the things, otherwise, don't even think about going out. This was one of the Yunhongmen disciples who later shouted. Huh! Then see if you can grab it from me. The surnamed son, you have been defeated by my men for so many years, this time will be the same result, all you have done is just wasted effort. Don't talk nonsense, whoever loses and who wins, the man attacked the other party with a treasured weapon. At the beginning, the two sides started fighting again, and they attacked each other with language, exposing the other's shortcomings. Gradually, Guyao and the others also heard some famous things. The two sects are not far apart. They always thought that the relationship between competition was greater than cooperation. The disciples came in, so this time they all came in with tasks. Last time, the disciples of the Flying Spirit sect found out that there was a formation under this pool, but due to the time and the limited level of breaking the formation, it could not be opened, so they had to make a copy of the formation and take it back, which is 500 years old. Time is enough for them to study the method of breaking the formation, so this time they are full of confidence, and they judged that the person who arranged the formation is a monk who is infinitely close to the integration period, so the things left in it must not be bad. The two sides scolded each other as despicable and shameless. This was discovered by the disciples of the Flying Spirit section. The method of breaking the formation was also solved by the elders of the Flying Spirit sect, but for some reason, Yunhong sect also knew about it, including the method of breaking the formation, so this time, as soon as they entered the secret realm, they couldn't wait to come here, and they all wanted to grab the things in front of the other party. You elder Xia of Yunhong sect is despicable and shameless, seduce the elders of our Flying Spirit sect with beauty, don't think I don't know how you know the situation here and the method of breaking the formation. The disciples of Yunhong sect laughed, that was also given to us by your elders personally. What if our elder Xia is so charming? We also have a headache. But, the Yunhong sect has made a lot of shameless people. The disciples of the Flying Spirit sect were about to explode with anger. They had never seen such shameless people, from top to bottom. How can you Flying Spirit sect take us? If you have the ability, you can fight another 300 rounds. Ha, the things are in our hands, why don't you want to fight back with you for 300 years? Let's go. Yeah, bot, coward, run away, hurry up and catch up. The two sides fought evenly, and they still didn't kill, so they came to fight a war of words, still no winner or loser, so they ran together. When they were completely gone, Guyao couldn't help laughing while hugging his stomach. Ouch, the rhythm of this drama's development was beyond his expectations, and it made them watch the first-year drama. Watching the whole process, I feel that it is more appropriate to use enemy to describe the relationship between these two sects. Chen Shen was ashamed. I really want to know which state these two sects belong to. It's really interesting to have the opportunity to visit them. The three walked out. Qi Changjai looked at the water pool. Guyao laughed enough. Seeing his appearance, he asked, "Brother Ye wants to go down again?" "Well, a little curious." "Then go down, look at their situation, there should be no danger below," Guyao said. Okay, the three jumped in together. The pool was deep, and Guyao released Mou to help explore the way. Mou quickly brought the three to the place they were looking for. There is a hole at the bottom of the water. The prohibition isolates the water outside. The prohibition does not prevent them from entering, so the three of them can easily enter. It is very dry inside. Here, so the breath of those people has not dissipated, and they came to the end of the passage following these breaths. At the end of the passage, a large formation was dismantled. It was indeed prepared. The three of them walked in. There was a small space inside. There was a stone table. The things on the stone table were obviously taken away. Guyao didn't feel sorry. After all, the other party had waited 500 years to come back in and break the formation. Look again, maybe there is a hidden place, Guyao said optimistically. Chen Sheng also wanted to say something, but he thought of the crow's mouth once before, and he simply shut up and didn't say anything and just did it. Guyao also let the cubs out, and at this moment, Su Chen let out a small sigh and said, "Go straight ahead, don't stop unless you are told to stop." Guyao acted according to his words, and Chi Changjai also found out, looking at Guyao cautiously. There was already a wall in front of it, and Guyao had touched it before, but Su Chen didn't tell him to stop, so Guyao had to, just hit it. The wall suddenly rippled and swallowed Guyao. Chi Changjai took a quick step and followed closely. Chen Sheng also wanted to follow, but he hit the wall and found a loud bang, his head was hit, and he touched the wall while touching his head. Sure enough, it felt the same as when he hit the wall. It was a very thick and sturdy wall. How could Guyao and Chi Changjai get in? Chen Sheng climbed up and down like a monkey, and carefully lined up the entire wall, not letting anyone in the corners, but there was still no clue. In the end, he had to sit at the stone table in discouragement and wait for Guyao and the others to come out. Huh? We really came in? No, what about Chen Sheng? Chen Sheng didn't come in. Maybe you have to have a good person to enter, Chi Changjai said casually, grabbing Guyao's hand, and guarding the surrounding environment. This is a larger underground space than before, but the decoration is no different from the previous space. There is also a stone table, but now there is something on the stone table. The two walked cautiously to the stone table, and first saw a piece of paper of unknown quality with content on it. The two looked at each other and quickly understood the situation here. The original owner left a letter saying that he accidentally broke through the space and came to the secret realm. The things and the lifelong practice experience are left to the destined people who come in. Guyao and Chi Changjai glanced at each other. There were 3 boxes in front of them. Chi Changjai used his spiritual power to open the first box. Inside was the superb treasure yin-yang mirror written in the letter. The letter said that the yin-yang mirror was a rare item. The attack-type treasure can launch an extremely yang attack on the one hand, but an extremely yin attack on the other. Chi Changjai was moved when he read the letter, grabbed the mirror and asked Su Chen, "Senior, is there any problem with this yin-yang mirror?" He found a lot of materials for Guyao in Wanluo continent to refine treasures, but he used a lot of them in a divine transformation. It was also because of the limited skill of the craftsman, and the refined treasures were almost all low-grade treasures. And it is not particularly suitable for Guyao to use. Looking at the introduction of this yin-yang mirror, you can see that the attack power is indeed great, and it is the best for Guyao to use it for self-defense. Huh? It's actually a yin-yang mirror. Su Chen pointed out that Guyao didn't pay much attention to the outside situation after entering here. He didn't think they couldn't deal with it. When he heard the name, he looked out in surprise and glanced repeatedly. Several times, he laughed out loud. "Good guy, if you want to do something small under my nose, can't you think I'm dead? There's no problem with the mirror, it's used to attract you to the bait. The problem is the box on the left side of your hand. There's an inheritance ball in it. There is a remnant soul in the ball, and I don't need to tell you what the remnant soul wants to do in it. I know, of course I know, I want to take over one of them. Most likely it is Chi Changjai's idea, so Chen Sheng didn't get in later? Reason. After retreating for a distance, he used his spiritual power to open the box again, revealing an inheritance jade ball inside. Some monks will instill their lifelong cultivation experience into the inheritance ball when their lifespan is exhausted for future generations to use, and some even instill their lifelong cultivation into another person. The reason why the ancestors will not be short of generations. You take the inheritance ball, I'll come. Su Chen's voice came. Chi Change. I did as Su Chen said, holding the inheritance ball in his palm. Su Chen's consciousness protruded from the space and reached into the inheritance ball. In this secret realm, he doesn't have to worry about being detected even if he runs out of the whole person, not to mention that it is only divine consciousness, who told the remnant soul to hide in it. As soon as the divine consciousness penetrated in, another divine consciousness quickly entangled in it, and accompanied by smug laughter, Su Chen gave him a ba angrily, pulled the remnant soul out of the inheritance ball, and threw it away. Come. The remnant soul is proud, and will follow this divine consciousness into the sea of consciousness of the other party. Then it will be time for him to do whatever he wants. He does not believe that no one will be moved when he sees the best magic weapon, and it is not according to his plan. But he was immediately dumbfounded, and the other party's consciousness easily got rid of him. Moreover, the two monks in front of him were looking at him coldly. To his death, there was a black cat that was about to move, which gave him an extremely dangerous feeling. Transmigration, First Class Immortal Husband. Author, North Wind Blows. Chapter 404. Remnant Soul realized that others had discovered his existence long ago, and Buletin's trap was seen through. His strong desire to survive made him rush towards the one with weaker cultivation without even thinking. Paws patted out. The remnant soul looked up and saw that it was the black cat. The black cat pouted at him, rushed over to grab his soul and gnawed at him. The remnant soul screamed incessantly, and he remembered that this is not a black cat beast, but a black nightmare beast, which can swallow souls and beg for mercy. I was wrong. I shouldn't have attacked you. I will give you all of my life's gains, as long as you let me live. Come on, let the black nightmare beast stop. I'm a third-rank formation mage, I can teach you the formation. By the way, I also know a lot of secret places in the spiritual world, I can tell you the location, and teach you how to break the formation. Remnant soul desperately thinks about what he has that can attract the other party's capital. What he can be proud of is his level of formation skills, which is definitely better than that of formation wizards of the same rank, and he has gone through many times in pursuit of the ultimate formation path. He has passed through many places, secret realms, ruins, and various secret places. But the black cat still caught him and gnawed on him. He wouldn't stop until the owner made a sound. Su Chen also floated out of the space. The remnant of the screaming soul saw another soul that had almost solidified in the air. Desperate, no wonder he could see through his existence and the traps laid out, just because of this soul. Su Chen smiled contemptuously at the remnant soul, who completely disappeared from this world in unwillingness. After a full meal, the cub ran back contentedly, and it was rare for the owner to allow it. Of course, he couldn't let go of such a delicious meal, and took credit to the owner. Guyao looked at Su Chen curiously. Senior knows Yin Yang mirror? Also know this person? Su Chen glanced at the Yin Yang mirror in Guyao's hand and said, I have indeed heard of the Yin Yang mirror. After all, this mirror is also ranked among the best treasures in the spiritual world, but it was only until I left, the Yin and Yang mirror. I remember that the mirror is still in the hands of another person. That person is also a genius of formation. As for this person, I have never heard of his name. Maybe it is from the same school. The yin-yang mirror will fall into his hands. The genius of law has fallen. Guyao stroked the yin-yang mirror in his hand. He didn't expect to hear the origin of the mirror from the senior's mouth. After thinking about it, he said, if there is a chance in the future, we and the senior can go to that sect to see what happened. Su Chen smiled. There are only two situations. One is that he fell during the training process. Said that genius, In fact, never met. This yin-yang mirror is pretty good, find time to practice it quickly. Su Chen returned to the space after finishing speaking. Chi Chang-ai opened the third box, which contained an array plate and 8 pillars, which could allow the remnant soul to be stored. It must not be bad, but there is no time to study it now, so Chi Chang-ai will pack it up and take it away, and leave here first. Find a place to let Gu Yao first sacrifice the yin-yang mirror to improve his strength. The two left here smoothly, and Chen Sheng, who was still trying to find a way to enter, was overjoyed when he saw them, and he was worried that it was not safe inside. When he left here, Gu Yao also told Chen Sheng what was going on inside, including receiving a top-quality treasure and encountering a remnant soul. Under the pretense, the inside is the key, and the remnant soul is also greedy. He doesn't look down on the ordinary cultivator. He has to pick the ones with good qualifications to put them in. No, he is unlucky. In addition to gloating over the misfortune, he is also envious of Gu Yao's harvest, but this is also the fate of Gu Yao and Chi Chang-ai. If it were replaced by him, there would probably only be one who was taken away. After the three were far enough away from here, they opened up a temporary cave to rest temporarily. Gu Yao went in to study the yin-yang mirror, and Chen Sheng also took the time to practice. Chi Chang-ai pondered the array plate and pillar. As for the inheritance jade ball, after checking that there was no problem, he still asked Gu Yao to put it away. The inheritance of the array mage was useless to both of them. If you meet a fat man who comes to the spiritual world one day, it is the most suitable for him. After Gu Yao finished the initial sacrifice of the yin-yang mirror and put it in the danchan for warming up, Chi Chang-ai also initially figured out the usage of these array plates. This is the 8 diagrams locking spirit formation, maybe the seniors may have heard of it. Bagua locking spirit formation, Su Chen called out in surprise when he heard the name. I have heard it, of course I have heard it. The Bagua locking spirit formation was developed by the original owner of the yin-yang mirror, and it can be used to trap enemies and destroy them. It can also be used for defense and concealment. When Gu Yao and Chi Chang-ai heard it, they felt that the genius of the formation might have suffered misfortune, so both the treasure and the famous formation fell into the hands of the remnant soul. The 8 diagrams locking spirit formation, as the name suggests, is on the word locking spirit. It can lock the spiritual energy and completely hide it, leaving the spiritual energy inside the formation. Reiki, one thing ebbs and one goes, and in the end these trapped monks end up exhausted. The 8 diagrams locking spirit formation is a 3rd grade formation, and it is enough for you to use it to exert the effect of the 4th grade formation. Like the first 2 escapes, if there is such a 8 diagrams locking formation, where do you need to run desperately? The formation can completely hide the breath, even that spirit beast with a keen sense of smell cannot capture the breath on your body. Gu Yao and Chi Chang-ai became more and more happy when they understood the effect of this gossip locking formation. This formation was too good. If it wasn't a last resort, they would not be willing to use the space to avoid it. The risk of exposure is different with this formation. Even if someone pursues the last incident in the future, they will have an excuse to cover it up. Gu Yao and Chi Chang-ai were in a relatively relaxed mood when they started on the road again. For them, the harvest this time has exceeded their expectations. Even if they get nothing in the future, they will not feel disappointed. It is the concentration of spiritual energy here. Worth the decades outside. Along the way, fighting beasts and digging up spirit grass, the 3 of them gained a lot after a period of time. After all, 500 years in such a place rich in spirit energy is enough for spirit grass to grow round after round. The 3 of them have a sufficient understanding of their own strength, and will not challenge monsters beyond their strength. When encountering birds, they can fight if they can. Quickly shake off the birds in the air. I also met other monks on the way, but I didn't meet anyone I knew, including the 2 gods that I brought in together, but usually they didn't even communicate, so they separated from those monks. As for those who wanted to fight them, they not a single one escaped. In addition to Chi Changai's strength, the formation that initially discovered the usage of the 8 diagrams locking spirit formation also played a great role. Thundercloud Eagle. The chirping sound in the air caused the three of them to look back, and a fierce thunder-type bird rushed towards them. It was obviously the Lei Lingon cultivator Chi Changai that attracted it. Such a cultivator is no different to Thundercloud Eagle. In W Pills. God Transformation. You guys step back, I'll give it a try. Chi Changai's eyes flashed eagerly. Guyao and Chen Sheng immediately stepped back. The tacit understanding of the battle was cultivated. Chen Sheng also knew that Chi Changai was fighting now, and it was a good thing to let him go. What they had to do was not to hold back. Be careful, Guyao warned, and then exited the battle range. In just a blink of an eye, the Thundercloud Eagle rushed in front of Chi Changai with lightning and thunder, and the momentum was so great that neither Guyao nor Chen Sheng could see what was going on with the person and the bird shrouded in the thunder, and it was also outside. Sand flying. The sound of the purple thunder sword fighting with the iron claws of the thundercloud vulture, as well as the angry cry of the thundercloud vulture, merged together, only to see the silhouette flashing, the sword light swept wildly, bringing out several feathers and flying out, among them there are I don't know whose blood it belongs to. The momentum was too great, attracting the nearby monks. Hearing the sound of lightning and thunder in the distance, several monks rushed to the vicinity and saw this battle. I have met this thunder cultivator before. He killed a monster in the late stage of God transformation by himself. I didn't expect to challenge the God transformation now. I have also encountered that thundercloud vulture. A monk in the late stage of God transformation was unable to escape, and was torn apart by it. Then shall we go up and help? This beast has caused a lot of trouble for the monks who came in, and the materials on it are also very good. Do you see the two monks standing over there? They are a gang, and none of their accomplices intervened, which means they don't need it. Another group of cultivators watched the battle from a distance, and sighed with emotion, where did this guy come from? It's too fierce. In my opinion, maybe it is a disciple trained by a major sect, but I don't know which state it is, and it won't be a barren state anyway. This person sneered at the end, and encountered several monks in the barren state, and they were not their opponents at all. They were too weak, people looked down on them, and they yelled at them about Tianyang sect. Shit, Tianyang sect is in them. Haven't even heard of it there. I seem to have a little impression of that cultivator, someone next to him suddenly said. Where? Many people asked curiously. It seems to be a monk in our barren state, but he provoked an enemy and was put on the bounty list. Although it's easy, but I recognize that sword and I've seen it once. Really, from the wasteland, the cultivator who had just attacked the people of the wasteland was digging his ears and dared not believe it. With a bang, one person and one bird flew out in different directions, and the thundercloud vulture made a shrill cry. Everyone saw that a long hole appeared in its abdomen, and blood dripped down in a string. Cloud vulture angrily glanced at Chi Changai, who was standing still, flapping his wings and flying away, with blood streaks in the air. Transmigration, First Class Immortal Husband. Author, North Wind Blows. Chapter 405. Guyao held the yin-yang mirror in his hand. In the event of an accident, the yin-yang mirror would attack at any time. He had tested it before. The strongest blow of the yin-yang mirror was that even the monsters in the late stage of the transformation could not stand it. Of course, this blow will take away most of his spiritual power, and it is due to the timely replenishment of Lingyu and Gu. Such the strongest attack can only be used twice, and there is still a surplus of self-defense. Although Chi Changai was injured, he did not completely lose his fighting power. After swallowing the medicinal pill, he had to leave with Guyao and Chen Sheng. Your Excellency is Chen Sheng, the young master of the Chen family of the Double Star Merchant. Suddenly a cultivator called out his identity. As long as you pay attention to the conditions of the cities in the barren state, you can know that Chen Sheng fled with 2 cultivators, one of which is the characteristic distinctive Friar Railangen. The appearance can be concealed, but the sword of life cannot be concealed. Looking at the combination of these 3 people, it is not difficult to guess that one of them is Chen Sheng. I did not expect that he would have the opportunity to enter the secret realm of the Absolute Pond, and a reward was offered to his chief family. If you know this, you will regret it. Chen Sheng stopped and looked back at the cultivator who called out his identity, as if familiar. I am Chen Sheng, do you want to take my head to Qi's house to collect the bounty? The cultivator sneered, Qi's family is nothing, but I want to remind you that there are many people from Tianyang sect, including Qi Shaha. They want to know that you are here, and they will not let you go. Really? Thank you, my fellow deist, for telling me and saying goodbye. Chen Sheng clasped his fists and left quickly with Gu Yao and Qi Changjai. It's not that no one wants to stop them from leaving, but after thinking about Qi Changjai's fighting power, he stopped thinking about it. Besides, unless someone is very murderous, how can they attack others for no reason? The 3 didn't have what they wanted. The yin-yang mirror after the sacrifice and refining is an ordinary mirror-shaped treasure, so when there is no attack, no one recognizes the origin of this treasure. Yeah, I forgot. The last time I met them, I wanted to ask them how fast they were, if there was any way to help them or something. It's a magic talisman. Someone with sharp eyes discovered the truth. Oh, why didn't I remember it sooner? Who has this kind of magic talisman? I bought 10, no, 100. But after asking for a long time, no one responded, and there were also talisman masters present. You could pick up the knowledge of talisman in memory, and found that the magic talisman that could be used was the lowest level 9th-8th rank talisman, and the ones they made were often the same. 5th grade, how the magic talisman makes the rune, they can't remember at all. It should be said that their starting point is too high. When they are born with the strength of foundation building or even gold core, the first contact with the magic talisman often starts from the 8th or even 7th rank. Everyone scattered and left, and many people made up their minds. When they meet these 3 people next time, they must buy more of these magic talismans from them. If they want to chase them now, they will definitely not be able to catch up. This time, Gu Yao and the others opened a temporary cave, and they came out after a month of retreat. Not only did Qi Changjai's injuries heal, but his breath became more precipitation. Although the battle with the Thundercloud Eagle was a bit tragic, the harvest was also great. Duo, after digesting and absorbing the results of the battle, and then encountering the Thundercloud Eagle, he can hold on for a while longer. If he uses the 8 diagrams locking spirit formation, he may still be able to keep it. Our identities are exposed now, we need to be careful. Qi Changjai didn't regret fighting Liun Vulture, just because he was afraid of revealing his identity. He held back in the secret realm, which was not in line with his temperament and sword intent. I think we need to find other monks to exchange information. Someone should have been in contact with the people of Tianyang section. How many people have come in, what kind of cultivation is the strongest disciple, and which area they are active in. The more the better. Gu Yao said with a fist. Okay, listen to you. Chen Sheng had no opinion, and he didn't want to hide. The 3 people who have been practicing for a month do not know that there are many people in this secret realm who are looking for them and want to do business with them. Leaving this temporary cave, the 3 of them walked in the secret realm. After a long time, they met a few monks. Gu Yao was thinking about how to greet them when he saw the other party's eyes lit up and ran over like the wind, and shouted, "Finally found you, it's so hard to find us." Amulet. Chen Sheng was stunned for a moment, and then burst out laughing. In fact, at first he expected that the monks who came in would not prepare such low-level magic charms. Maybe they would have the opportunity to do business, but I didn't expect this business to come to my door. Gu Yao pushed Chen Sheng, and let Chen Sheng handle the business. Chen Sheng negotiated with the other party, and finally sold 20 pieces at the price of 1 spiritual talisman and 1 high-grade spiritual stone. Compared with the cost and market price, this is definitely a huge profit. On the Tianlin continent, such a magical talisman can only be sold. How many low-grade spirit stones? After encountering such a situation a few times, Chen Sheng got more news. He knew that there was a temporary cultivator living in a trading place. Some large commercial banks brought a lot of materials when they came in and started business in the secret realm. They are the center, and the monks gather spontaneously to exchange items they don't need. As soon as they inquired about this place, the 3 of them rushed to the place. Sure enough, hundreds of people gathered here. Of course, this does not include the number of floating people. It is conceivable how many monks have entered this secret realm. As soon as the 3 of them appeared, someone surrounded them. After learning that they would sell magic talismans here, many people placed orders with them in advance. The 3 found an open space, took out their portable cave, and set up a booth in front of them, and then got into the cave to prepare for the next business. For this, Qi Changjai also spent some time teaching Gu Yao and Chen Sheng these several kinds of magic talismans that help to improve the speed. It is still possible to control the spiritual talisman of the 9th and 8th rank with the cultivation base and consciousness of the gods. Yes, and the rune uses a secret method. If you want to crack it, you can, but you have to spend time and effort. It is estimated that the monks outside are more willing to spend the spirit stone to buy it. So this talisman shop was officially opened. Before entering the secret realm, no one would have expected this scene, and it would be a strange thing to put it outside. But the business was unexpectedly good, and the accumulation of small amounts of money, coupled with the fact that Gu Yao would release some medicinal herbs from time to time, were very popular, and the 3 of them quickly accumulated a considerable amount of wealth, and most importantly, they also collected enough information. Although everyone has concealed something, your sentence and my sentence are quite rich. Qi Changjai walked in from the outside, took a piece of animal skin paper in his hand, and raised it towards Gu Yao. I sold the method of making magic talismans to Dingxian Pavilion next door, and bought a topographic map of the secret realm from them. They had been selling the magic talismans for a while, and they felt that they could stop. In addition, there were also merchants who came to the door and wanted to cooperate. The 3 of them discussed each other, mainly by Qi Changjai and Gu Yao, and decided to sell the magic talisman production method. Next, I'll be selling medicine pills. The method of making that kind of amulet is extremely simple, so Qi Changjai's asking price is not high, that is, the topographic map of the secret realm in the hands of those sect disciples. The young master of Dingxian Pavilion is also very happy, and soon gave the topographic map with both hands. And also said that the cooperation will be pleasant in the next time. Gu Yao, including Chen Sheng, who came in one step behind, were very happy. Maybe this map may not be complete, but it is better than nothing, otherwise they would just rush around like headless flies. And the news of Tianyang sect has also been inquired. For others, it is just a favor. Most of them are people who do not like Tianyang section. If they sell well in front of Chen Sheng, they will have nothing to lose. 25 people came from the Tianyang sect, and they got 5 keys. It's really amazing. The leader's disciples are in the early stage of virtual refining, there are 3 in the late stage of transformation, and the others are in the middle and early stages of transformation. Qi Shaha, not long after entering the sect, the cultivation level has also broken through to the middle stage of the transformation of the gods, and the Tianyang body is really amazing. Chen Sheng must be jealous of Qi Shaha's good luck. Small order. Those 2 brothers, in his opinion, Qi Shaoyang is hypocritical and shameless. Qi Shaha's cultivation talent was not bad in the past. Definitely more flamboyant. Just as the 3 of them were talking, a team of cultivators came outside, and someone showed them the way, pointing to the stall set up by Guyao and the others, and then one of them walked aggressively in front of the cave mansion and raised his foot with a bang. He smashed the small booth to pieces and shouted, "Where is the person? Get out of this, young master." In Dingxian Pavilion, young master Zhang Jingfeng looked at a few runes in his hand. It was such a simple thing, but it was very popular in the secret realm, which made the three monks earn a lot of spirit stones. The law knows that the cost is extremely low, but who makes this secret realm? Young master, I heard that 2 of the monks came from other cultivation continents, so the foundation is relatively solid, that is, in this secret realm, put it outside, a few runes, where is it worth the terrain of the secret realm? Picture. Zhang Jingfeng smiled and said, "You also said, in the secret realm, this kind of magic talisman is sold at a high price, and some people will buy it. Will they not know the cost of this kind of magic talisman? No one is an idiot. Besides, this terrain picture, if we don't give them here, there will be other ways to get it, which sect disciple doesn't have it?" To put it uglier, these 3 robbed a single monk. The map was easy to obtain, and there were many sect disciples who died in the secret realm, so why should Dingxian Pavilion embarrass them? The map here is actually worthless. I heard that they have conflicts with the people of Tianyang section. Now they are doing business here with great fanfare. I don't know when Tianyang sect will come to the door. Suddenly there was a movement outside, and one person ran in to report, "Young master, the people of Tianyang sect smashed the magic talisman booth." You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Transmigration, First Class Immortal Husband. Author, North Wind Blows. Chapter 406. Saying that CAO and CAO were coming, Zhang Jingfeng couldn't help but feel happy, and said to the guard who was in charge of his safety, let's go out and watch the fun." They circle the land and let them out. They are not allowed to do anything on their land. If there are conflicts, they will go out to solve them. Otherwise, who would be willing to do business on their land? So if the people of Tianyang sect wanted to break the rules, they had to ask them whether they agreed or not. As soon as Zhang Jingfeng came out, he saw the debris on the ground and tooted his mouth twice. This temper is really explosive. At this time, the 3 of Guyao also came out of the cave. Chen Sheng frowned and looked at the situation on the ground, and then looked at the domineering Qi Shaha. His eyes flashed with coldness. The surname Qi is so powerful. This is not Feichuan City, nor your Tianyang sect. You have to go back and play with prestige. It's Chen Sheng? How can you look like a ghost? Ha, I see, I'm afraid, it's a useless tortoise, Qi Shaha mocked. Yes, I'm useless. Others have posted bounty lists all over the world to take my head. I don't have the courage to come out openly and above board. Isn't all this thanks to your Qi family? Your Qi family from Double Star Trading Co., Limited has already robbed it and returned it. If you want to kill them all, are you not allowed to escape? What kind of reason is this? Chen Sheng replied eloquently with a fire in his heart. Now he's just showing off his power, because he is not the Qi family's opponent at all, not to mention that there is still Tianyang sect behind him. There was a lot of laughter at the scene. No matter who gets to this point, they will hibernate and accumulate strength. If the Qi family wants to kill them all, others will have to wash their necks and wait. Qi Shaha has always been used to being domineering, but now Chen Sheng, who is like a ground mouse, dares to refute him? And let him be ridiculed? Qi Shaha laughed angrily. Okay, I see how long you can be so fast with your tongue. This time God won't help you, send you to me, Chen Sheng. Let me tell you, you won't. It's time to enter the secret realm. I, Qi Shaha, are worried that I won't have the opportunity to teach you personally. As he spoke, he ran towards Chen Sheng, and a giant palm caught Chen Sheng and shouted, Tianyang sect is doing business here, Idlers should stay away. Many people watching the excitement flashed a thought in their hearts. I heard that the people of this Tianyang sect are very arrogant. I didn't expect it to be true. How old is Zone? You really regard yourself as a character, and you haven't learned a lesson from the losses you suffered before? I'm coming. Chen Sheng wanted to fight the Qi family for a long time, but he never had the chance. Qi Shaha was in the middle stage of God transformation. After cultivating for a while, he finally broke through to the middle stage of God transformation. A slap-sized treasure seal quickly swelled under the movement of the spiritual art, and slammed into the huge palm above with a whistling momentum. With a bang, the air waves rolled and spread to several stalls nearby. If they hadn't seen Qi Shaha's action, they would have quickly put them away. At this time, they would have to rush to the end of Gu Yao's stall. The destructive power of the flames of the sun. Powerful. In the first round, no one won, but each took 2 steps back. Qi Shaha was furious. How dare Chen Sheng fight back against him? And when did this break through? He was bestowed by the celestial body, and the master gave him a lot of heaven and earth treasures and medicinal pills, so that he could improve a small rank in such a short period of time. Why is this guy? Okay, shameless, I just didn't do my best. Now let you see my true strength. Qi Shaha's giant palm reappeared, this time with even more yang energy. All around all the trees were roasted and rolled to the side, and soon withered. Chen Sheng's face turned pale. Although he had a tie with Qi Shaha before, Qi Shaha used half of his strength because he underestimated the enemy, but he fought back with all his strength. Which made him have to admit that the celestial body does have its own uniqueness, even if the cultivation base is the same level, but he is not an opponent of the Qi Sha system. Hey, get out. Seeing that the giant palm was about to fall again, this time Chen Sheng had nowhere to escape, but at this moment, a tongue rumbled to the ground with a rolling sound. Who? Who is the enemy of our Tianyang sect? The other disciples of the Tianyang sect immediately put on a fighting stance. Zhang Jingfeng came out from behind, and the one who had just repelled Qi Shaha with a screeching sound was the guard beside him, the void refinement cultivator. Zhang Jingfeng glanced at Qi Shaha's embarrassed appearance, and said with his hands behind his back, "What is the Tianyang sect? And I need Dingxian Pavilion to violate the agreement between us and all the fellow Taoists? You are fighting outside Dingxian Pavilion. Killing is your business, but when you reach the Dingxian Pavilion site, you have to listen to us." Qi Shaha is arrogant, but Zhang Jingfeng is dismissive of him. His attitude makes Qi Shaha's arrogant face stand out very prominently. You. The cultivator of Tianyang sect took a step forward without thinking, and rushed towards Zhang Jingfeng with the same imposing manner of cultivating the emptiness. Humph, the guard beside Zhang Jingfeng took a step forward, and the coercion belonging to the cultivator of void refinement also poured out. The invisible contest forced the cultivator of Tianyang sect to take a few steps back and looked at the opponent in horror. The opponent was actually a cultivator in the middle stage of cultivating, and he had reached this strength with less than 500 years of life. No wonder he circled a piece in the secret realm. If the site is released like that, the other party has the confidence. The situation is stronger than that of people, so the cultivator had to bow his head. "I'm sorry, we don't know the rules, it's offended, let's go, take junior brother Qi and let's go together." "Yes, brother. Senior brother, I." Since Qi Shaha entered the Tianyang sect, his mentality has continued to expand. When has he suffered such humiliation? Even if his senior brother is a cultivator, he has never put on airs in front of him. Why? Not only because there is a master behind him, but also because of his celestial body. He is destined to go farther than his senior brother and will catch up with him soon, so he thinks the senior brother will please him, but now he doesn't help him. "Let's go first, the time in the secret realm is still long," the cultivator said meaningfully. But Qi Shaha thought he was afraid and wanted to let himself swallow this humiliation. He was extremely angry, but the cultivator was afraid that he would say something unpleasant, so he simply sealed his mouth with spiritual power. Forcibly took him away. But when he left, the cultivator looked back at Chen Sheng and his group, Guyaokai and Changjai, and kept the faces of these three people in his heart. He didn't think these three guys could stay in this realm 2 years. At the same time, he was also dissatisfied with Chi Shaha in his heart. He was a cultivator after all, but he was yelled at by this disciple who had just entered, and he was arrogant when he was praised by the section celestial body. Only the living celestial body is valuable, and the dead celestial body is nothing. The cultivators who watched the excitement gradually dispersed. Although they were somewhat familiar with the character Chi Changjai, they were able to defeat the thundercloud vulture, who had become of transformation. However, there were cultivators in the Tianyang sect. As long as the opponent caught a chance, it is impossible to escape. There are countless geniuses in the spiritual world, but how many survive to the end? They are not optimistic about the three of Chi Changjai. Zhang Jingfeng's attitude remained the same. He politely exchanged a few words with Guyao Chi Changjai, and invited them to join Dingxian Pavilion very sincerely. In Zhang Jingfeng's view, Chi Changjai's potential and value far surpassed his body. Chi Shaha, who is pregnant with Tianyang body, has left the secret realm. He also very much welcomes the two of them and Chen Sheng to go to Fengzhou to join Dingxian Pavilion. Thank you Zhang Xiaodong, we will seriously consider it. Guyao smiled. Okay, take care. Zhang Jingfeng did not force himself, and returned to the shop opened by Dingxian Pavilion with the guard. The three of Guyao returned to the cave and activated the formation to isolate them from the outside. Such a scene was expected and prepared for a long time, but Chi Shaha's performance still surprised Guyao. Just because of the Tianyang body, the Tianyang sect is holding this person, regardless of his temperament. At the same time, the consciousness is also asking Su Chen in the space, Senior, are all the monks in the spiritual world like this? Su Chen scolded foul language, fuck. Those are all shallow eyelids. Now you should know why Tianyang sect is only a second-rate sect. Well, they can't be promoted to a first-rate sect by acting like this, and the status of this second-rate sect may not be guaranteed. As a native of the spiritual world, Su Chen still maintains the reputation of the spiritual world. Let's not talk about other things. Look at the great powers in the spiritual world. How many of them really only got to that point with their special physique? Special physique makes monks slightly stronger than others at most. Guyao nodded in his heart, agreeing with this statement. The special physique just makes you start a little higher and progress faster than others, but it doesn't mean that the people behind you can't catch up. If it doesn't work for decades, then it will take hundreds and thousands of years to catch up with the time of watermill. Chen Sheng guessed, it may be that Tianyang sect needs Tianyang's physique too much. Tianyang sect hopes to produce a great vehicle or even a great power to transcend tribulation, and bring Tianyang sect to a higher peak. Chi Changjai disapproved. In this group of disciples of the Tianyang sect, not all of them may be pleasing to Chi Shaha, and if they hold it too high, they will fall badly. Chen Sheng asked, what should we do now? Guyao opened the map and pointed to a place. Let's go here. Chen Sheng saw that the place Guyao was referring to was the Sea of Wronged Souls. Thinking of the magic of the Black Nightmare Beast, he nodded and said, okay. He was the happiest when he heard that he was going to this place. He took the initiative to go out to inquire about the situation and choose the best running route. When Chen Sheng and Chi Shaha started hands before, Guyao also made small moves, leaving something on Chi Shaha and the cultivator, which was colorless and tasteless, and could only be revealed by special means. Requires tracking of spirit beasts with a keen sense of smell. Transmigration, First Class Immortal Husband. Author, North Wind Blows. Chapter 407. There are also days and nights in the secret realm. The difference from the outside is that the night is completely dark. There are no stars and moonlight sprinkled from the sky. The technique is not very clever, and it must not be hidden from the master of virtual refining in Dingxian Pavilion, but it is enough to blind the sight and perception of the Tianyang sect disciples who are staring at them from a distance. The three of them disappeared. Inside the Dingxian Pavilion, Lianxu's guard moved, looked up and said to Zhang Jingfeng, "Young master, they left, but they left an illusion. I don't know when the people of Tianyang sect will find out." Zhang Jingfeng was not surprised. He smiled and said, "I heard someone describe the battle situation of that lay sword cultivator, and I also know that they don't want to stay here and rely on us for shelter, but will choose to take the initiative to attack. I don't know. Where are they going? Pay attention to the news outside to see when Yangzong's surname Qi will die." When Zhang Jingfeng said this, he remembered that Qi Changjai had specifically asked him about the situation of the Sea of Injustices displayed on the map. Could it be that he was interested in it? The young master doesn't like him so much. Zhang Jingfeng sneered, "Perhaps he didn't die in the hands of others, he was killed by his own people first. He has seen a lot of such situations. He thinks highly of himself and doesn't take others seriously, but once he loses the protective power behind him, he will often die." Qi Shaha didn't get up yet, so he didn't take senior brother Liangxu seriously. In his opinion, senior brother Liangxu was not too tolerant. As soon as it was dark, Guyao and the others left. After a dark night, the monks came out again. Soon someone found out that something was wrong with Guyao and their cave, and they easily saw through the illusion array. The monks who saw the scene yesterday couldn't help it. Hearing happily, the people of Tianyang sect probably didn't expect that they would go so easily. As soon as the phantom formation was broken, the disciples of Tianyang sect who stayed outside naturally found it, and hurried to the place where Qi Shaha was to report. Qi Shaha endured all night, waiting for the three to leave the Dingxian pavilion site. He had to torture them once, telling them that they could not survive or die, but now they are gone? He was so angry that he cursed, "What are you all doing? Staring at someone will make you lose them, trash. What use do I want you for? Don't hurry to find them, and let me know as soon as you find them." The people who were scolded were extremely embarrassed, and they were all disciples of Tianyang section. Why did Qi Shaha scolded them like he scolded his grandson? They were born and talented, but one day they were scolded as trash. Are they the servants of Qi Shaha? But thinking of Qi Shaha's position in the sect, he had to endure it, and it was more important to find someone. However, when they turned to leave, some people endured the blue veins on their foreheads. It's a coincidence. After a while, there will be news. Where did the three encounter some monsters, and they fought with monsters? Of course, when they arrived at the battle site, they had already gone to the beast space. What? He didn't stay, so he had to continue chasing in this direction. Zhang Jingfeng also received the news, and after only 2 times he concluded, they are going to the Sea of Wronged Souls. This is the way to the Sea of Wronged Souls, and they have to attract people from the Tianyang section. At this time, there is still a long way to go before the Sea of Wronged Souls. Except for him, it is estimated that no one will make such a judgment. The guard guessed, do they have any treasures on them that can ensure that they stay awake in the Sea of Wronged Souls? Zhang Jingfeng is also puzzled, even if there is a treasure, can you guarantee that the other party does not have it? Moreover, although the situation of the Sea of Wronged Souls can weaken the opponent's strength, he is very curious about what methods the three of them will take. Well, let's also go to the Sea of Wrathful Souls, where many special spiritual materials are also produced. Let's take this opportunity to buy a batch. The monks here don't use those things, but after taking them out, they will be useful for monks who practice special exercises. But it can be sold for a great price. Yes, young master. In fact, the guards knew that the acquisition of spiritual materials was incidental, and the main purpose was to watch dramas in the past. There were people here, and Zhang Jingfeng set off with a few guards and a steward. The air is soaring, and the black clouds are rolling. I don't know how many corpses are buried under the plants growing here. As long as you get close to here, you can feel the impact of negative energy on them. It's hard to imagine that an ancient battlefield will remain in this secret realm. Come on, let's go in. Qi Changjai grabbed Gu Yao's hand and stepped into this ancient battlefield full of grievances. When he said see, it was just a huge amount of grievances, not the real see. Chen Sheng stepped in without hesitation. After entering, he found that a protective shield was protecting them, isolating the negative energy from the outside. The black cat was floating in the air, and the cat's face could be seen intoxicated. Chen Sheng couldn't help laughing. There are no monks here. Since it is an ancient battlefield, there will definitely be items left behind by the ancient great powers. According to unreliable information, someone took a half-immortal weapon from the Sea of Wronged Souls and relied on this half-immortal weapon to go to the sky. Entering the ground, enjoying a leisurely moment, or obtaining the inheritance of the ancient powers, no matter how bad those negative energies are condensed or the things bred on this land are of great value. The monks who knew about the secret realm of the Absolute Pond would of course make full preparations, such as treasures that keep their minds clear, and the impact on coming to the Sea of Wronged Souls would be minimized, but the three of them, like Gu Yao, broke in straight and fast. It didn't come down, which is also very rare. Where did these three fools come from? I don't know that this is the Sea of Wronged Souls. Ah, I remembered, aren't these three the three monks that the Tianyang sect was looking for with the Tianyang sect? Did they flee to the Sea of Wronged Souls to hide in trouble? Don't you want to die with the people of Tianyang sect? But Tianyang's physique has a certain restraint on the negative energy in the Sea of Wronged Souls. I forgot that one is a thunder sword cultivator. The two of them are similar, so it depends on who is better. Because the cubs are invisible to the outside world, apart from Gu Yao and the three, the cultivators outside did not discover the existence of the cubs, otherwise there is no guarantee that they will be able to attract Qi Shaha and the others into the Sea of Wronged Souls. It didn't take long for Qi Shaha and his party to reach the Sea of Wronged Souls. The group of more than 20 people was much more spectacular than the three of Gu Yao. As soon as they came, they attracted the attention of the monks and winked at each other. Yang Zong's people came after him. Senior brother, this is the Sea of Wronged Souls. A cultivator in the early stage of God transformation obviously didn't want to go in. Senior brother Liangsu was in a bad mood when he looked at the sea of grievances in front of him. He thought that there were only 3 transforming spirits. He could solve it for Qi Shaha. For his handle, Hui Zongmen was punished the most, and the dead still couldn't compete with the living, but he didn't expect that the other party would dare to break into the Sea of Wronged Souls. If it was before he knew his physique, Qi Shaha would have been terrified of this kind of place, and would not dare to rush into it, but now he is a celestial body, specializing in the negative energy, and sees a sect that is too timid to enter. The disciple, disdainfully said, "Don't forget what my master told you. When I go back, I will tell the master truthfully. Brother, let's go." Senior brother Liangsu's eyes dimmed for a moment, but he followed Qi Shaha in. Some of the other sect disciples felt that senior brother Liangsu and Qi Shaha were the celestial bodies, and the advantage would be on their side. They didn't do well here in Qi Shaha, and they didn't end well when they went back. What kind of temperament is Qi Shaha? They didn't know enough about it for a while. He was by no means broad-minded. There were also a few of them, but yeah was cruel and stayed behind, and his life was gone, so what's the future? It would be better if Qi Shaha died inside. Who told him to not listen to the persuasion and want to break in? Qi Shaha and his party quickly disappeared from the eyes of the monks outside. They looked at each other a little dumbfounded, but they didn't expect to chase in. Zhang Jingfeng and the guards arrived non-stop all the way. Seeing many people gathered together and talking about something, they caught someone and asked, Have Chen Sheng and Tianyang sect people gone in? Fellow Daoist came a step late, and they all went in, but a few of Tianyang sect stayed outside. Zhang Jingfeng smiled, that guy Qi Shaha really couldn't be stimulated, and he was self-righteous, really thought that his physique could withstand all the negative energies in the sea of wronged souls? Don't look at his cultivation base, beyond a certain tolerance will only collapse more severely. Zhang Jingfeng came to watch a play, not to enter the sea of grievances, so he asked the stewards and guards to use the banner of Dingxian Pavilion. The business of the pavilion is very good, and the medicine pills such as the Ningxian Dan Kingxin Dan are particularly popular. In a place like to others, the cubs are like fish in the water. The ghosts and wolf howls from the remaining soul fragments here also become beautiful, and beautiful fairy sounds in the ears of the cubs, and there are fragments of the remnant souls rushing over to devour them. Soul, the cub snorted when he jumped up, and shuddered with excitement after eating. They went farther and farther, and went deep into places that other cultivators were afraid to enter. This time, not only the cubs were excited, but Guyao was also excited because he saw a lot of materials that were hard to find outside, and the only thing left was digging. The idea of digging. The same materials outside also need to be bred in such an extreme environment, but for some medicinal herbs, these materials are essential. Chen Sheng gradually got used to the gloomy environment around him, and turned a deaf ear to the sound of the remnant soul shaking his soul, and followed Guyao and the others to dig for treasure with great interest. He found a broken sword with rust on it, but took out a low-grade treasure and touched each other, and the low-grade treasure broke. Chen Sheng was a little dumbfounded when he saw the low-grade treasure that was broken in two. What kind of material was this broken sword made of? Have to. Chen Sheng put it away like a treasure, and strengthened his belief in digging treasures. Transmigration, First Class Immortal Husband. Author, North Wind Blows. Chapter 408. The three of Guyao were very busy, but the Tianyang sect and his party were tortured. Two disciples with weaker cultivation couldn't bear the environment here. Under the attack of the remnant souls, they turned around and ran overseas to the wronged souls. Qi Shaha was so angry that he cursed. I think that Qi Shaha was very envious of the monks who could join such a big sect as Tianyang section. When he saw the disciples of those sects going out, he couldn't restrain the envy and jealousy in his eyes, but one day he was brought back to Tianyang sect by his master. The cultivation base has risen steadily, and the disciples who used to make him envious and jealous now seem to be nothing more than this, so the attitude towards them becomes more and more contemptuous. After walking all day and night, I couldn't find any trace of the three of them. Relying on the protection of the Tianyang body, Qi Shaha would not be affected by the environment here. Now, the leader of the team, senior brother Liangxu, flashed a hint of happiness in his eyes. He has much more experience than Qi Shaha, and he can't see it. The reason why Qi Shaha is irritable is actually affected by the negative energy here, but it is still weak and will not be noticed by himself, especially when he encounters a self-righteous guy like Qi Shaha will not admit that he has been influenced. The bigger the influence, the better. Senior brother Liangxu touched the relic hanging on his chest, and his heart became more and more stable. This is the treasure he collected for this time into the secret realm. It really can keep people's mind clear at all times. Those Buddhist practitioners are not useless. After another day passed, the three of Guyao felt that it was better to solve the later troubles before they could hunt for treasures without any worries. Guyao took out a special medicine pill, and the medicine pill exuded a strange fragrance. When they smelled this fragrance, they could sense another smell. That was Guyao's movement on Qi Shaha and others. Their hands and feet followed the smell, and they were able to find their whereabouts. This is Guyao's exclusive secret recipe. He will not sell this kind of thing to the public, nor will he disclose the formula to the public. Therefore, he has no doubts about the direction he senses. After half a day, they found Tianyang sect and his party. They were circling around in one place. Looking at the number of people, there were only a dozen people. Others didn't know whether they died or ran away halfway, or they didn't follow up at all. Moreover, they have never seen so many remnants gathered together. The yin and evil spirits here are about to gather into substance, and when they are suddenly hit, Guyao and the others can't stand it. How could there be such a change? Guyao asked in surprise. What did they do? Chi Changjai folded his arms and said, it shouldn't be because they were so popular that they attracted the remnant souls. Moreover, it is very likely that someone was injured or died, and the smell of blood would also attract the remnant souls. Smell it, is there any smell of blood? Chen Shen nodded, yes, it seems that fellow Daoist Chi guessed correctly. The cub turned himself into a huge black cloud, which looked similar to the dark clouds formed by the yin and evil spirits. The three of Guyao were wrapped in the black cloud and sneaked in, and they could clearly see the situation of the Tianyang sect and his party. To say that the disciples of Tianyang sect ended up in such a situation, it was because Chi Shaha ignored the protests of others and insisted on searching in the depths. As a result, when he came here, one of the disciples was so bad that he lost his mind. When he sacrificed his own treasure, he attacked his companion. He regarded his companion as his enemy. His companions were also beaten, and others couldn't stop them. As a result, the two of them beat you to the death, and other disciples were also affected. They were awakened by senior brother Liangxu. After the death of the two disciples, the other disciples were still affected a little bit. They didn't care about Chi Shaha's status in the sect, and they all blamed him. It was he who ordered to enter the sea of wronged souls because he alone wanted to implicate the section. Other disciples have even caused a few people to lose their lives. After the remnants were attracted, they also set up the formation, but the remnants outside kept hitting the shield formed by the formation. The remnant that came was swallowed up. Okay, all of you have turned upside down. When you leave the secret realm and return to the sect, I will see how you will explain it. Perhaps the resentment accumulated in the bottom of my heart has reached its limit, and coupled with the stimulation of negative energy, it burst out at this moment. Return to the sect? Then there is also a chance to go out of the secret realm and return to the sect, and then be dragged down by you like this. We will all be trapped here, and we will end up dead without a place to be buried. Our lives are about to die. Who should we tell? Are you Chi Shaha not capable? Why don't you run and disperse those remnant souls? Didn't you rely on the celestial body to say that you are not afraid of the sea of wronged souls? You want us to see the ability of your celestial body. Okay. Good. I remember all of you, and senior brother is also standing there. Are they on one side? Chi Shaha's eyes were bloodshot with anger, and he pointed at the fellow who was hugging him and fighting against him. Senior brother Liangxu thinks, I can't just think about junior brother Chi alone. I have already lost several junior brothers, and if this continues, the losses will be even more severe. I can't explain it when I return to the sect like this. It is better for everyone to take a step back. Go away. Don't you say good things, Chi Shaha scolded with an irrational appearance. In his opinion, this senior brother Liangxu is just a piece of shit. We value it. I'll show you the ability of this young master now, don't beg me then. As soon as Chi Shaha roared, he rushed out of the formation, and was instantly enveloped by the remnant soul and yin evil energy outside. However, he was driving the celestial body like a small sun in the dark. It was very dazzling. The nearby remnant souls seemed to be screaming and wailing, and those yin evil spirits were also weakened. Senior brother Liangxu's pupils shrank, and he immediately ordered the other disciples, Junior brother Chi attracted the remnants for us, let's take the opportunity to leave here and run overseas for the wronged souls. Let's listen to senior brother. Seeing that more and more remnants rushed towards the dazzling little sun, senior brother Liangxu waved his hand to withdraw the formation and ran in the opposite direction. The other disciples quickly followed. In their opinion, since Chi Shaha is so ability, they definitely don't need their help. They used to die. With such thoughts in mind, they didn't even look back. On the other hand, senior brother Liangsu, who was at the back for the guards, looked back and saw that not many remnants were chasing after them. Why? Junior brother Chi didn't know if he had heard a word. It was called a moth to a fire. At this time, the remnant soul is the same as a moth to a fire. Although the energy can burn them, it still has a fatal attraction to them. Those disciples didn't realize that. Senior brother Liangsu, who turned back, flashed a sinister and happy look on his face. Enjoy it, junior brother Chi. Among the black clouds floating in the air, one of them suddenly showed two eyes and blinked in surprise, as if they didn't want to do anything. The enemy was about to kill himself. The three of Guyao, who were hiding in the dark clouds, were also very surprised when they saw this scene, but it was not difficult to think about it. As for Chi Shaha's temper, it must have offended many people in Tianyang section. The high-level people dare not do anything, and they don't know how to restrain themselves when they come to such a place. Isn't it just courting death? Chi Changjai regretfully glanced in the direction where the others were leaving. He saw the expression of senior brother Liangsu, who was obviously a very scheming cultivator. Letting him go, I was afraid that it would cause trouble for them in the next time. For example, he pushed Chi Shaha's death on them, and he chased and killed them in the name of revenge for his younger brother. When he left the secret realm, he could also push everything cleanly in front of Chi Shaha's master. So it's better to keep this person here as well, but solving Chi Shaha is the top priority right now. There is still a chance, Chi Changjai told himself. Chi Shaha couldn't see the direction at all, so he could only run in one direction according to his instinct. However, those remnants never let him go, and chased wherever they went. Chi Shaha only felt that his mind was pierced by countless shrill screams. The sound was so full that it was about to burst. The Tianyang force broke out again, and the slightly weaker remnant souls were instantly scattered. Chi Shaha was about to lose his strength, and his physique needed a lot of spiritual power to support him. Moreover, his Tianyang physique was still under development, and several consecutive bursts were simply overloaded. At this time, he realized that the celestial body is not omnipotent. Damn, when he leaves the secret realm, he must make those idiots look good. It's just getting more and more tired, his footsteps are getting heavier and heavier, and he can't lift it up. He didn't see that behind him, a group of black clouds was always adorning him, and he breathed a black breath at him from time to time. The yin suffocating that came over, more and more yin suffocating entangled Chi Shaha, which made him even more delicious, and the remnants who instinctively suppressed their fearful emotions swarmed up again. Except that the cubs caused some trouble for Chi Shaha, they didn't intervene anymore and just watched how Chi Shaha was killed by the remnant soul. Yangzone will be his world, and he will be one of the best in the barren state, but how can he die in such a bad place? He didn't want to die at all, he still wanted to enjoy a good life. How could he die? Chen Shen was happy at first, watching Chi Shaha's soul being torn apart, but when Chi Shaha really died, he was a little dazed. Is he dead? As if death was too easy, he didn't let Chi Shaha know about it, he just watched from the sidelines. We can't take action. See, after Chi Shaha died, a soul imprint floated out of his body, which must have been left by his master to protect his safety, and it would be transferred into the hands of the hands and lurked, unless this person's spiritual cultivation level can surpass that of the soul seal master, otherwise he will be caught up wherever he goes, Guyao reminded. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Transmigration, First Class Immortal Husband. Author, North Wind Blows. Chapter 409. Chen Sheng's eyes were instantly clear, and as expected, he saw a soul imprint floating in the sky. He seemed a little dazed, and he didn't know whose body he was going to get into, but the remnant soul, which was stronger after the meal, didn't even let go of the snack, and fluttered again. It has been eaten in the past. Well, it's still good, don't worry about being approached. Someone is coming, Chi-Chang-Ji suddenly reminded, and his eyes lit up. He could almost guess who was coming, and it was just right. The three of Guyao fell dormant again. At this moment, the eyebrows of Qianshan elder in Tianyang sect jumped, and the soul imprint he left on Qi Shaha disappeared. Is Shahaishan dead? How is this possible? Before he could go to inquire, the voice transmission of the sect master reached his cave. Elder Qianshan, calm down, you must have sensed it. What I want to tell you is that Qi Shaha's soul card shattered, and the disciple has just received a message. How is this possible? Isn't there a disciple of Liangxu guarding? Is there a cultivator who is stronger than the disciple of Liangxu? Elder Qianshan roared in disbelief. The sect master also felt that it was a foolproof trip to the secret realm. Who would have thought that it took less than half a year to enter the secret realm, and then bad news came out. The disciples who entered the secret realm in this line, they are most optimistic about Qi Shaha. How did he die? Elder Qianshan, there is still more than a year before the closure of the secret realm. Please wait patiently for a while, and wait for other disciples to come out and ask questions. Now all we can do is wait, the sect master advised. When the suzerain's spiritual consciousness was withdrawn, the pressure of Qianshan elders rushed out, and all the items in the cave bang bang exploded into powder, and he even let out a low roar. How could Qi Shaha die? How long did it take him to find the celestial body? How did he die? The celestial body he prepared for himself is gone? If I had known earlier, I shouldn't have let him enter the secret realm of Absolute Pond, and the disciples who entered the secret realm together should be damned. The news of Qi Shaha's death could not be concealed in the Tianyang sect, and it quickly spread to the outside of the Tianyang sect. The disciples in the sect were also in disbelief. They had to know that there were seniors who entered the secret realm together. Could it be that the secret realm of the Absolute Pond is so dangerous? I heard that many disciples have fallen, which gave great psychological comfort to the disciples who failed to win the quota. Those disciples who had suffered at Qi Shaha's hands could not wait to applaud, and in the future there would be fewer who were above their heads and would not treat them as human beings. Biwangchinjgiwan Pavilion. Senior sister, a beautiful woman, Xiu Fei, jumped into a pill room. Good news from Tianyang sect, Qi Shaha died in a secret realm, and his soul card in Tianyang sect shattered now, you don't have to worry anymore. With a bang, the elixir furnace in front of Chen Chen was fried, and the unpleasant smell dissipated. The female cultivator who ran in to report the news stuck her tongue out, not noticing that the senior sister was concocting elixir. But Chen Chen couldn't care about refining the broken Yudan furnace, so she quickly got up and came to her, grabbed her arm and asked, "Is it really dead?" "Yes, the news is absolutely correct. Your nephew should be safe now." The conflict between Chen Chen and Qi Shaha of Tianyang sect had already spread in Giwan Pavilion, and many people showed sympathy to Chen Chen. But she also knew that with her status, she couldn't compete with the direct disciple of the Qianshan elder. They all knew the importance of the Tianyang body to the Tianyang sect. Chen Chen was so worried about this matter that she never thought about leaving Giwan Pavilion to find her nephew, but she also told her rationally that once she left Giwan Pavilion, not only her but also her nephew would lose the last protection. Only the nephew who comes to Biwangchinj can enjoy the protection of Giwan Pavilion. The news that Luo Xiao and the three had worked so hard to come to Biwangchinj to deliver the news of their nephew further deepened her belief. Now that the twists and turns have turned, Qi Shaha, the biggest backer of the Qi family, has actually fallen. Chen Chen was so excited that she trembled all over. She wanted to pay back what the Qi family had imposed on their Chen family. "I'll go to Luo Xiao and the others and tell them about it. Now they can leave Biwangchinj to help me find my nephew's son." But she can't rest assured that there is no exact whereabouts one day. Chen Chan thanked her junior sister and hurried out of Giwan Pavilion. She arranged Luo Xiao and the three of them in Biwang City. At this time, she didn't know at all that Chen Sheng, like Qi Shaha, entered the secret realm of the Absolute Pond. If she knew, she would be worried or happy. Senior brother Liangxu sent the other colleagues to the outskirts of the Sea of Won't Souls, which was not very dangerous, and told them to leave from here. He wanted to return to see junior brother Qi's situation. His decision made other disciples resentful, but at the same time he felt that his senior brother was very tall, and senior brother Qi didn't have much respect for this senior brother, and senior brother still had to take care of his safety, but senior brother made the decision and they couldn't stop him. Senior brother, hurry up and come back, they are waiting outside the Sea of Ghosts. Separated from other people, senior brother Liangxu is very proud of walking in the Sea of Wronged Souls alone. He wants to go back to see what happened to Qi Shaha, and he also wants these junior brothers to bear witness for him in front of the high-level section. He is not ignoring senior brother Qi. The safety of it, but it was too late to save it. He left a mark of consciousness on Qi Shaha, so he found it very smoothly, and heard the screams of junior brother Qi from a distance. He thought it was the most beautiful sound he had ever heard. It's just a pity that he was still a step late, and he couldn't appreciate the scene of junior brother Qi's last breath, otherwise he would be even more happy. Seeing the shapeless corpse lying on the ground, senior brother Liangxu circled around for a few times, and said with emotion, "What a waste of a great Tianyang body, otherwise it will definitely play a big role in the hands of senior brother Qi. Junior brother Qi, don't you think so? It's a pity that even if you have Tianyang physique, you won't be able to wait until you reach the peak. Senior brother will teach you to be good. Be humble in your next life. Don't put your eyes on the top of your head, otherwise you won't be able to escape today." And senior brother Liangxu was very satisfied. He reached out and took off the storage ring and other treasures on Qi Shaha's body. These are the relics of junior brother Qi, and he had to bring it back to the sect to prove his integrity. Of course, he will also fulfill the wish of junior brother Qi for junior brother. Not only the three spirit transformation cultivators are vulnerable in front of the void cultivation cultivators. When he turned to leave, he finally said to Qi Shaha's body, "Junior brother, I will soon send your enemy underground to reunite with you." A flash of thunder flashed in Qi Changai's eyes, and he really couldn't let this guy go. Next, it's up to them to see who is better than this guy. Gu Yao frowned and Chen Sheng clenched his fists. Before, he thought that this cultivator was not too bad, but I didn't expect him to be so sinister, and the surnamed Qi is not dead in his hands now. He also wants the lives of the three of them. When senior brother Liangxu left, the cub returned to a black cat and jumped onto Gu Yao's shoulder, meowing to complain to Gu Yao. Gu Yao touched cub's head and said, "You said that guy is wearing something on his chest, and that smell makes you hate it." "Yes," Miao Zizai replied earnestly. Qi Changjai said, "No wonder he dared to run in alone, and it was very obvious before that he was the least affected, not because of his highest cultivation, but because he has good things on him. Let's go, we should also do things." Okay, Chen Sheng clenched his fists, never letting this guy leave the sea of injustices. This is the best place to deal with him. Qi Changjai expected it well. This senior brother Liangxu did not leave in a hurry, but started to search for their whereabouts in the Sea of Wronged Souls by relying on a protective object. In his opinion, although one of the three was a Thunder Sword Xiu, but protecting the other two is not an easy task, and in the end it is very likely that he will end up in the same fate as Qi Shaha. Why? These three must have run deep to avoid Qi Shaha's pursuit. The environment there is even worse. I don't know how long it will last. He has heard Qi Shaha talk about the origins of the three people, but he doesn't think they have good health. Bodyguard. The three of Gu Yao also patiently followed behind, looking for the best time to shoot. There are traces left by Guyao and the others on the ground, such as digging the hole left by the broken sword, collecting the hole left by the plants here, and walking somewhere. The cultivator suddenly stopped and turned back. A strange smile appeared on his face. Come out, I didn't expect you to live to this day, but it's over. Junior brother Chi came in to follow you all. Don't come out? Think I'm cheating on you? Thanks to the traces you left on the ground, let me know that I've made it easy for you. You brought us in on purpose, because you also have body protection, which can be guaranteed. You are not affected by the environment and remnants here, am I right? There was a look of pride on the face of the cultivator, although things were a bit beyond his expectations, but that's it, the cultivator wants to deal with the transformation of the gods, it's too simple. The fog in front swayed for a while, and three figures emerged from nothing, from looming to light, and gradually came out. It was Chi Changjai who took the lead, and Guyao and Chen Sheng followed one step behind. When the cultivator saw the black cat beast squatting on Guyao's shoulder, he immediately showed a clear expression, so it is, no wonder junior brother Chi lost, he was not wronged, he didn't even know that you have any black nightmare. In fact, that's because Chi Shaha didn't take Chen Sheng's two cultivators seriously at all, so why would he specifically inquire about their specific situation? In Chi Shaha's eyes, Guyao and Chi Changjai may be just two broken houses, not worth him. Bother. None of the three Chi Changjai said a word, they just looked at the cultivator. This man is also angry, really think that if he falls into his hands, there is still a chance to escape? It's over, take your lives to pay homage to my junior brother. As he spoke, he stretched out his hand and grabbed the three of them. With the same tricks as Chi Shaha, the rolling spiritual power and boundless coercion forced Guyao and the three of them. Clouds are also rolling. Chi Changjai greeted him with a sword and shouted, break it for me. All the power is condensed at the tip of the sword. Maybe his absolute power can't beat this cultivator, but he is confident that he can still do it if he only breaks the current situation. The thunder light flickered, and in an instant, the giant palm was shaky, and Guyao and Chen Sheng, who were standing behind him, quickly dispersed to both sides, and disappeared in a blink of an eye. Gossip locking spirit formation. Transmigration, first class immortal husband. Author, North Wind Blows. Chapter 410. Humph, you're making a fool of yourself. Boy, die. Senior brother Liangsu sneered and grabbed Chi Changjai again. As for the two cultivators who escaped, it would not be too late to find them after solving the problem in front of them. He didn't think they could escape under his own eyes. This time, the giant palm accurately grasped the figure below and squeezed it hard. Senior brother Liangsu had already foreseen how this person would struggle, but unexpectedly, the next moment, it burst with a slight bang, and the figure turned into countless pieces. Scattered around. It's fake, it's a ghost. Senior brother Liangsu understood that he was deceived and was furious. He originally wanted to deal with these three guys neatly, but now he changed his mind and wanted them to enjoy themselves before they died. Come out. Don't do useless work. Come out and die, this senior will let you suffer less, otherwise you will not even have the chance to be reincarnated. The surroundings gradually became foggy, and senior brother Liangsu walked in the fog, shouting words from time to time, trying to shake the other party and deepen the other party's fear. Chi Changjai's figure suddenly appeared behind him, and the sword and man joined together, turning into a lightning bolt and attacking the cultivator. A sneer appeared on the face of the cultivator who was facing this scene, and when the attack was about to come, a giant palm fell from the sky again and slapped the thunder light fiercely. Boom! The thunder light of the combination of human and sword was once again made into pieces and scattered, and the giant palm also completed its mission and disintegrated. There is a huge disparity in strength with the opponent. He should be playing tricks on the opponent like a cat playing a mouse, but now he has been overturned by the opponent with the help of the formation, which is a shame and shame for him. With the power of the formation? That senior will break this formation for you, break it for me. After defeating Chi Changjai again, the cultivator finally sacrificed his treasure, a pair of male and female swords, in the air divided into two, attacked the big formation fiercely. Rumbling, under the full blow of the cultivator, the 8 diagrams locking spirit formation vibrated and made a roaring sound. Guyao and Chen Sheng, who were in charge of the big formation, didn't feel well at the moment, but they could sense the situation of the big formation. They are not worried about the collapse of the big formation, because they clearly feel that the big formation is drawing the spiritual energy of the cultivator, so that the big formation can run. That is to say, the more madly the monk trapped in the formation attacks, the faster his spiritual power will be lost, and on the contrary, the larger formation will become more stable. Will fall into a vicious circle. So they watched the cultivators in the formation attack the big formation for a while, and then they were forced to face Chi Changjai. After more than a dozen rounds, Chi Changjai's sword actually left a sword mark on him. Found something wrong. Only less than 20% of the spiritual power in his danshan remained, because he recklessly used spells that consumed too much spiritual power by relying on his own cultivation. However, after the spiritual power palm he used was broken, the spiritual power did not return to him. In the danshan, he was drawn by the big array, which caused his spiritual power consumption to increase. After a sword hit, the figure of Chi Changjai did not collapse this time. After he really used the big formation, he knew the subtlety of it. Chi Changjai had to admire the genius formation master who developed this formation. The phantom is reversed. Although the phantom can only exert 70% of his strength, he can also fight to the fullest in this state. This time, after realizing that senior brother Liangxu's spiritual power was being consumed too much, he swapped himself with the virtual shadow with a single thought, and when he actually went on the field, the sword in his hand attacked the opponent again, not giving the opponent time to replenish his spiritual power. The cultivator had just drank a few pills of nourishing spirit, but he had not moisturized his dry danshan, and was forced to fight again. He scolded Chi Changjai in his heart. This is a despicable, shameless, cunning, and insidious bastard. I don't know where he came from. The strange formation that he obtained took away his spiritual power, otherwise this guy would have died in his hands. At this moment, he felt the feeling of suffocation again. He had experienced it from his junior brother Chi Shaha before, but now he is a spiritual cultivator. Whenever the spiritual cultivator climbs on the head of the virtual cultivator, he is a blessing. The elixir he took basically kept up with the consumption of spiritual power when he fought against Chi Changjai, but Chi Changjai was full of energy. Once the spiritual power of his real body was excessively consumed, he quickly switched with the phantom and took the top-quality Lingling pill calmly. Just like that, 2-on-1, or Sword Chi, the sharp thunder sword Chi invaded into his body, wantonly destroying his internal organs. Ah! I want to die with you all, the cultivator of the virtual world was mad. At this moment, his hair was disheveled and his eyes were crazy. No matter how good the baby was, he couldn't keep his mind clear at this moment. He only knew that he would not survive. Don't even think about walking out alive. Go. But at this moment, his brain was aching, his sea of consciousness was in chaos, and when Qingming came over, his abdomen was in severe pain, and his entire danshan was pierced. In the hands of the cultivator, but at this time he couldn't even escape the nascent soul, as the energy body, the nascent soul was quickly evacuated by the great formation, and in the end only his screams remained. Only then did Chi Changjai support his body with his sword, coughed a few times and laughed again, blood dripped from his mouth. Guyao shook his head and ran out. The destructive power of the self-destruction of the cultivator should not be underestimated, so at that moment he cooperating with the cubs, the divine consciousness condensed the stab to his sea of consciousness fiercely, and Qi Changjai outside seized this moment's opportunity to pierce his dantian. Chen Sheng also walked out excitedly. He also had a role to play. Before that, he didn't dare to imagine that Huashan could also kill Liangxu. The great formation, Qi Changjai's superb swordsmanship, and Gu Yao's consciousness attack, one is indispensable. They really killed the cultivator. Chen Sheng really wanted to cheer, but it was important to do things right now. He asked Gu Yao and Qi Changjai to adjust their breaths. He came to collect the spoils and unceremoniously swept away the things on the cultivator's body, including the pair of male and female swords. It's a pity that such a treasure cannot be used in an open and honest manner in the barren state, otherwise it will be regarded as a provocation by the Tianyang sect. Chen Sheng also discovered that the relic that this person wore on his body was clearly from an eminent monk, otherwise it would not have such a great purification ability. The last fire burned the person's body clean, and then seized the time to practice for a while. Now, because he just swallowed the nascent soul of a cultivator, he was full of spiritual energy. The three of them got together to share the spoils. It just so happened that Qi Shaha's storage ring was also in the hands of this virtual cultivator. The two together had hundreds of thousands of high-grade spirit stones. There are more spirit stones than his senior brother Liangxu, but there are more than a dozen top-quality spirit stones in the senior brother Liangxu's storage ring, which is also a pleasant surprise. The three were divided into three, and each took a share, but Chen Sheng didn't want the top-grade spirit stones, and the top-grade spirit stones belonged to Gu Yao and the others. In order to compensate him, Gu Yao also gave the pair of male and female swords to Chen Sheng, not necessarily without them. The opportunity to use it, if it fails, it can be auctioned off at the underground auction. Of course, the most important thing is what the two gained after they entered the secret realm. One is to refine the virtual world, and the other is to be protected by the audience. The good things on them are only a lot more than Gu Yao and the others. After all, there are so many people in Tianyang sect. And come prepared, the harvest is naturally not bad. Chen Shenduo asked for some medicinal pills in the two storage rings, and the spirit grass was pushed to Gu Yao as much as possible. That's it. In the end, he still covered his storage ring until his mouth was so happy that his ears came to the root. In his words, this trip to the secret realm is stronger than the income of the double star firm for many years. There is still a large group of people sharing the profits of the firm. These are all his own, and he suddenly realized that the double star firm is not that important anymore. Gu Yao is also very happy, but he has an objection. The secret realm of the Absolute Pond only opens once every 500 years. With these 500 years of accumulation, the profits of the double star firm are not too thin. Chen Sheng is still happy. Qi Changjai got up and said, "Do you want to dig for treasure?" Yes, yes, Chen Sheng said firmly. He would not think that he had too many things on his body. The three of them did not rush out and continued to stay in the sea of grievances. The relic, because the cub didn't like it, was given to Chen Sheng. He wore this relic and could walk around without the protection of the cub. Tianyang sect found that the soul card of another void refinement disciple was broken, and the top management was shocked. The loss of Tianyang sect this time was too heavy. Even the void refinement disciple would die inside. According to their judgment, the void refinement cultivator can be regarded as the top strength inside. Could it be that something has changed in the secret realm this time? The disciples of Tianyang sect, who were guarding outside the wronged soul ocean, waited for a long time to see their brothers, and their mood changed from being calm at first to being uneasy. Guessing, said to the guards around him, "You said, that guy won't die in it?" The void guard asked doubtfully, "If he all died, then there is a chance that the three spirit transformation cultivators that Xiaodong's family is concerned about will survive." The old Zhang Jingfeng was saying, "I always think it's not that simple." Liangxu guard smiled and said, "Does the young master think they have the strength to kill Liangxu cultivator?" Zhang Jingfeng shook his head and said, It's hard to say, let's make a bet. Bet what? If I win, Senior will stay by my side in the future. The virtual guard laughed. Although Sheadong's family has many competitors, his cultivation base is only able to show his power in the secret realm. When he leaves the secret realm, his role is small. There are many masters outside, and the Xiaodong family takes a fancy to him. It's not impossible for him to stay, so he said, okay, it's up to Sheadong's family. A month has passed, and still no one has come out. The disciples of Tianyang sect couldn't hold back. If they didn't come out, would they have to spend all the time here? So there were differences of opinion among these disciples.